Yes.
I mean, even we know all this, you know, as she says, the crystallized eye knows all that, the mind knows all that, but still it is so difficult we are still out here searching, looking to really rest in the self.
Okay. So, what's the problem?
As you said, we all want eternal happiness and bliss and
well, that's
peace.
That's who and what you are.
Yes, but
you already are that.
Sometimes I don't believe.
I'm sorry? Somewhat.
Sometimes it does not seem to be like that.
Sometimes it does not seem to be like that. When that sometimes seems to be, that's a thought. Right? Simply make the distinction between the awareness that you are, which is the only reality, and the thought, which is a concept. Concept is not real. The being that you are is real. Once you make the distinction between that which is real and that which is not real, which is only a concept, then no longer identify with that which is not real, which is only conceptual, no matter how seemingly often it comes into being. Once you see that it's not real.
But I have to see that on a more I can't just see that with the mind.
I'm sorry?
I mean, to have that understanding with the mind will not really...
You don't need the mind.
No, it has to more of a cellular...
What's all of that about? That's more thought. That's just more concepts. Here we are, right now, this moment. What's that got to do with anything in this moment? Are you abiding in the simple peace and freedom of your own being right now, this moment? Are you not?
Yes.
That's all that is necessary, isn't it? See for yourself. You are this awareness. You have always been this awareness. You will never not be this awareness, or you will never be other than this awareness. This is what's so. Nothing else is so. And in this moment, it's being registered, as well as if thoughts come up in opposition to this, the thought is being registered in this moment, but you're just seeing what's so in this moment is what's so, and here's a thought rising up in opposition to what's so. But don't go with the thought that is in opposition. Stay in the what's so, as the what's so. If you don't identify with the thought that comes up, you have no problem.
Right.
So don't identify with it.
Easier said than done.
I'm sorry?
It's easier said than done.
No,
Now it's easy.
No, it's easier done than said. Once you see that if you've been told and see and learn that the sun never sets. The sun is always shining somewhere. It never sets. Once you get that, and you recognize that that's the truth, are you ever going to be confused when someone speaks about the sunset? or when you start talking about how beautiful the sunset was or is, you can still talk about it. You can still see a seeming sunset and still know that the sun never sets. Can't you? So what's the problem? There's no problem unless you think there's a problem. So don't give thought or don't identify with the thought and you have no problem. Now, who's that up to?
What?
Who's it up to?
Who's it up to?
Yes, whose responsibility
But
is it for you to stay in the pure awareness of being?
And another Bhagwan.
It is the your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you to not identify with the mind, to not identify with thoughts. The moment that a thought rises, you know right then. You can see right then. Don't identify with it. Don't go there. If you happen to be in a strange place in the mountains and there's a scenic view and someone says, don't walk too far that way, there's a cliff there, are you going to be tempted to go that way and walk too far? Of course not. Well, likewise, you're told not to go there. Don't identify with those thoughts. Are you going to continue to walk that way or go that way and identify with them?
Seems to be that way.
Why would you do that?
Because we must be stupid.
Well, it was Einstein who says, if you keep repeating the same thing over and over that doesn't work, and repeating it again and again, hoping to get the same results, then there is another word for it.
Different results.
Huh?
Get different results. Repeat the same thing over and again, expecting a different result.
Okay, that's it. Expecting a different result. It's called insanity. So we must begin to look to see when we who are identified with our minds and our bodies continue to take it to be who we are, to our own suffering, and then while we continue to identify with it, hope to be free of our suffering, you would call that insanity. And I'm not saying that with any judgment. I'm just looking at it for us to look compassionately at ourselves. In the patterns now that we have begun, see that we've been identifying with these patterns. And now cease from the identification with these patterns. And the way to do that is what we in AHAM teach, what Bhagavan Ramana taught. And that's inquiry. The moment a thought comes up that is contrary to your true nature, which is just thought itself, inquire, who's having this thought? The only answer is me. I'm having this thought. Who am I? And follow the sense of I with the thought back to the source from which the thought is appearing or taking rise, and dive into that sourcing essence. And then by remaining in the sourcing essence, the source itself will dissolve the thought. You don't have to do anything about the thought. The thought will dissolve itself by staying in the pure awareness of being. Okay?
Yes.
That's the process.
Needs vigilance.
Yes. So, which do you prefer? To be at the effect of your mind and suffer, or to be free and happy?
The
Who's
second.
it? Again, who's it up to? See? We don't recognize that we are the source and cause of our own suffering.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Okay. Well, we can be free. We don't have to suffer. Suffering is not necessary. Truly, it's not necessary. Okay?